Greg, Maya, and Betty are not experts, nor do they claim to be. They're just a bunch of nerds who enjoy talking about movies, shows, and current events. So sit back, grab a coffee, relax, and enjoy a brand new episode of All Queued Up.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of All Queued Up, a review podcast tied to streaming services like HBO Max, Disney Plus, Netflix, what have you, yada yada, so on and so forth. I'm your host, Greg Dietz, and with me always is Maya Don Fisher and Betty Badger. How are you two been this week? This last week, I should say.
Been okay. What about you, Maya?
Pretty good. Pretty busy. We had our normal D&D Tuesday again yesterday, which was great. As of recording this, of course, publishing day, it would have been several days ago by now. I'm really excited because tomorrow I'm going to get laser hair removal done on my face and neck. So I no longer, it's the beginning of no longer having to shave. The whole transition process has been an exciting and rewarding and also at times scary process, but this is one that I'm definitely excited about. Of course, it takes 8 sessions for it to become totally effective and basically permanent. But tomorrow's session 1, and that's the biggest one. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be a day. I'm excited about it though.
Yeah, I was like, that's definitely exciting. Definitely moving towards what you want. So
yeah. And then this weekend, my brother-in-law, Sean, he came over and I laid out a wiring diagram, and he pretty much did most of the work. Installed these light kits on my shelves in my collection room, and absolutely love how it turned out. He did a fantastic job, and you guys have seen the pictures online and everything. It just looks so much better in person though. So had a productive week, and Madison started virtual academy yesterday. So she's getting back into the swing of things for the fall semester. Things are going well here. How have you been, Greg?
Been better. As we were talking about the pre-show, they had a family emergency, if you will, and not going to get into that for privacy reasons. But that's been a thing. Then, of course, the fires. Fires have been. Like, as a matter of fact, I probably need to close my window because it's getting a little smoky in my room. Like, it smells like a fucking campfire in my room right now. But
just get some s'mores and pretend.
Yeah. However, the other thing that's going on right now that is stupid, very dumb. The morons got enough votes, or not enough votes, but enough signatures to get a special recall election happening, to which literally the ballot just says yes or no to the recall. I'm voting no because it's a waste of our time. But part of the recall has actually brought a source of comedy. So for anybody listening, what we're going to do today is I can't believe I lost that fucking article. Hang on one second, y'all. Yeah, I know. I fucked that up. There we go. I found it. What we're going to do is basically we're going to talk about What If. We're going to talk about episode 2, which is called What If T'Challa Became Star-Lord. But first, what I want to do is, if you remember back when Schwarzenegger became the governor of California, there were a lot of candidates on the ballot who didn't deserve to be even remotely a politician. Some of those were like, there was a porn star that wanted to. There were a few just absolute fucking, what I like to call chads, just brain dead fucking frat boys, if you will. And even Gary Coleman was on the ballot. Unfortunately, Schwarzenegger won, and it was a detriment to the state, but that's besides the point. I was looking at the list of candidates and their statements, because their statements are fucking funny. There are 42 candidates, I think is what I read or what I saw. And most of them are fine. Like, it's their description of themselves is very plain. It's like what you'd put on a resume or some shit. But there's a few that fucking crack me up. Caitlyn Jenner, go away. So this woman named Holly Bad or Bade, she just writes leadership for brighter tomorrow. That's it. No description of who she is, where she came from, what her job is. Just that one sentence. Let me find one that I found extremely funny. There's this guy named David Hilberg who he's a Republican, but he looks like he's just like he has a farm, or not even a farm, but like a small ranch in rural California someplace. And like his last sentence is, we've all had enough of it. Had enough of what there, David? What are you talking about? But one of my favorites is Angeline, no last name, just one name, like a stripper's name, if you will. And her thing is, it says, Angeline Billboard Queen, icon, experienced politician. Experienced in what, Angeline? No, nothing, huh? Just I'm experienced. Great. This guy, so this gentleman right here, his name is Jeremy Marniak, no party preference. So not tied to any party. And his description just says, search YouTube. Just search YouTube. Fucking kills me. Like, I'm sorry, bud. If I'm looking to who I want to vote for, that's not how you do that. Where's the one that made me laugh really hard? There he is. This guy's name is Dan. I'm going to say Kaplevitz or Kaplevitz. He's with the Green Party. That's his picture. And his description is one sentence. Can you see it? Can you read it?
Can you dig it?
Yeah. That's it. Just can you dig it? Oh, fucking so good. There was another one that had me laughing. Hold on, let me find it. Oh, this gentleman, Adam Popigan, his description just says, love you.
Yeah.
There it is. Just love you.
Okay.
Fuck, dude, it's so funny. I absolutely love it. I mean, I hate that we have to go through this recall election, but reading those was fucking killing me. Like, and some of the descriptions on other ones, I'm not going to go through them because it's just too much, are just basically like them bitching about politics in general. Not like talking about where they came from or their background. Just, I'm angry and dude, like, there's a part of me that doesn't want the recall because I know it's going to piss off a lot of people, and that's going to be great. The people I want to piss off. But there's another part of me that kind of wants the recall just because I want to hear them debate. Like, I want to hear that so bad. It's like that presidential candidate we get every year that wears a boot on his head. You guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh my God, hang on.
This is a California thing.
Presidential candidate that wears a boot on his head. Vermin Supreme.
Oh, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a picture of him.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, Vermin Supreme is hilarious. So, yeah, I don't know his background or anything like that. I just know they say he's a satirist, but he's ran for president quite a few times. I don't know what he's satirizing, but okay. All right. Anyway, sorry to go through that. I just thought that was funny. I wanted to share it. like I said earlier, everybody, we're going to be talking about What If Episode 2, which is What If T'Challa Became a Star-Lord. That's the name of the episode. Yeah, we'll just get into that, I guess. So I'd like to start this conversation off with this was absolutely fucking amazing. I loved everything about this episode. For a lot of reasons. So we're talking spoilers, right? We're going to get to spoilers because I don't know how else to talk about this without spoilers.
Yeah.
As we stated last week, or as I stated last week, I'm a big fan of What If. I've read them since I was young, and one of my favorite things about What If is that small change changes a lot, changes almost everything. And that was showcased in this episode. The funniest thing to me was that Thanos was no longer like who he was that we know of him in the movies. Literally, like, T'Challa had just a good argument, and that changed his mind. But
Yeah, the fact that, it was a repeating theme too was kind of amusing.
yeah. Everyone fucking killed it with the acting this episode.
Voice acting?
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of weak.
Really? From who, though?
How do you say his name? Jimin Hensao? Or I thought he was terrible.
Oh, I don't agree at all. I thought he was just hamming it up to play with Chadwick. The whole episode. He was cracking me up. Like the fact that T'Challa was such a good Ravager and Star-Lord that he was able to do what he did in the galaxy as a whole. And there were so many people that were fans of his that didn't even fucking like knew who he was immediately. And that shit was just fucking, it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
I do have to say, I felt like this one was, you had to stretch for some of it. I mean, like the whole fact that they picked up T'Challa instead of Peter Quinn. Why would you not still go pick up Peter Quinn? Because,
Quill.
That was kind of, or Quillen, whatever. That was your whole storyline to begin with. I mean, your storyline just kind of changed a little bit when you picked up the wrong kid. What would have happened if you'd also picked up Peter? I mean, that's what I would have. I mean, again, it was just a bit of a stretch for me.
This is what I have to tell people this all the time. This is what I love about What If. What If is written by somebody who wanted to tell that specific story. And What If isn't inherently canon. At least it's not normally canon. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And your What If story, Betty, would have been a bit different than what you saw here, I assume.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's what I love about What If is it doesn't have to follow any kind of formula and can just be whatever the fuck it wants to be.
And I understand that. Again, I'm not saying, it was too much. I'm just saying there was a lot of stretch for this What If. For me personally, I felt like there was a lot of stretching for this What If.
There's always a lot of stretch in What If. I gotta be honest with you. So.
The first one, her decision to stay in the room, that's more of a butterfly effect type of thing to me. That's more, I mean, picking up the wrong kid who also happens to be, future king of Wakanda. That's a big butterfly.
Oh yeah, well that was something that I think is important about What If, and sometimes I wish they had more time to do it, but if you have that situation where T'Challa is now in space, you saw the somewhat of a butterfly effect of him like stopping Thanos from being who he was, and the Collector then hired the not Blackguard. Is it Blackguard? Is that what their name? Yeah.
The Black Order.
Black Order. Thank you. I knew it was a guard. Him hiring the Black Order, and then there's a few other things you saw in space with his the effect of him being there, but we didn't see what it was like back on Earth, or at least back in Wakanda. And they did show that to an extent at the very end, but like T'Challa going into space in 1988 would have eventually stopped the invasion of New York. That would have never happened. So,
yeah, I mean, again, this is a big butterfly with big wings that made a lot of big changes.
yeah. So you don't really get to see all that all the time, especially with them with What If. For example, I read a What If the other day that I was really interested in. It was what if Flash Thompson got bit by the radioactive spider instead of Spider-Man, and it followed mainly Flash Thompson. It did eventually get to Peter Parker, and there was a whole thing where Flash like full on hit the guy running out of the arena with the wrestling guy. There was, I don't know if you know the story to that, but if you've seen the very, very first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, they touch upon it a little bit. But the idea is a robber ran out of the building that the wrestling match happened in. Peter didn't stop because he didn't get paid, and that robber went on to kill Uncle Ben. Well, Flash stopped that robber, so Ben never died. But Peter was then taking care of his Aunt May and Uncle Ben the best that he could without having superpowers, obviously. And Aunt May needed a specific medicine, to which like Flash agreed to help or something to that effect, but without telling Peter it was Flash. It was a whole thing. But with Peter not having the powers, like things changed for Peter dramatically. But also Peter not being Spider-Man and being a Flash instead would have had some repercussions on the whole Marvel universe. As I saw a video the other day of a dad explaining to his son, like throw that rock into the lake. You see that ripple? Like every good and bad deed you have has a ripple effect on everything. And this is the butterfly effect you're talking about. What if almost never touches on the larger aspect? It's always the smaller aspect all the time.
Well, I don't feel like I was getting to that point. I mean, again, to me, it was just a matter of you picked up the wrong kid. That wrong kid happened to have a very big quake in the Marvel universe because, again, like you said, we're following him, and you can see how much of a quake he's made just by who is with him and how they treat him. And
I guess I'm more so trying to get you in the right mindset that like every episode is going to be like this. That's all.
Oh, absolutely. Again, I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying that I found it based on what I know. It felt like they picked up a really big butterfly and threw it in after, the first episode was a very small butterfly, which are usually the changes that we typically encounter. Well, there are big butterflies and they make, big motions, but it was just weird to go from the small butterfly to the really big butterfly in the next episode. I mean, again, I still think it was a good episode. I thought the voice acting was fine. I thought the comedy was there. It was good, but it was a bit stretchy for me.
I got you. Nothing wrong with that.
But it's also going to play into the rest of this, I guess, as well, because we had that ending with Peter and his dad. So you didn't see that, right?
I think that's a big maybe on that. Just because I think they were just showing that. I don't think it had.
Well, it does give you an intonation of how things would have changed drastically.
Right, like Watcher said that the Earth would have been in peril because of that.
Yeah.
So, what I think we're going to see
Thanos, but power in a vacuum. Somebody else will step in to take his place.
Exactly. Well, that's also one of the things I love about the What If comics is that there are certain things that continue regardless. Certain things that keep happening. What do you call that? Parallels? Like certain things that are always constant.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I fucking loved this episode. I dearly. It was. I didn't think anybody was a bad voice actor. Maybe a little bit of what's his ass? The guy that plays the collector.
Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, Benicio del Toro. Just a little bit, but not too much. I also saw an animation error with him, by the way. As I can spot that shit a mile away. He had his bracelet off of his arm, his left arm, and then when he was being attacked while he was still in that little cage, he had it suddenly back on his arm. I was like, "Oops, whoopsie doo." But
It happens.
that's animation for you. That happens all the time.
Oh, it happens in
Yeah.
real movies too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I loved how Gamora wasn't even in it because she wouldn't have been. Thanos obviously didn't go to that planet and recruit her, and then we got Nebula that looks like comic book Nebula because she wasn't fucked up by all the modifications that Thanos made to her. Maybe
Yeah,
not
that was
exactly like
interesting.
comic book, but
She looks a bit like Smurfette.
I have to correct that. Not like comic book Gamora, because comic book Gamora had like black hair or darker hair. Nebula, sorry.
Yeah, that was. I was like, whoa, Smurfette.
Calling T'Challa Cha-Cha was great. Like they clearly had a history there. It was awesome.
I thought the Black Order aliens were pretty cool looking.
Yeah, they did a fucking excellent job of making them look like exactly like the movie counterpart. But then again, they're all animated to from the get. So
Yeah, but they did a good job.
Yeah, 100%.
The only two I can ever remember the names of are Proxima Midnight and Ebony Maw.
Right. Same here. 100% same here. Well, besides the voice actor of my brain's not hitting it. What did you think, Maya? Really?
I didn't care for this. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first episode. I really didn't. I don't think I really liked this episode much at all. And I know I'm probably in the minority.
I have an honest question for you. Is like when something is meant to be a comedy, does it just not land as much for you? Like in terms of superheroes?
Yeah. And I think that's what it was.
If that's what it was, it makes sense.
I really think that's what it was. I mean, it was too.
I mean, it was a comedy. It was straight up a comedy.
It was straight up, yeah. And it just did not land for me at all.
I mean, it fits your profile of not liking Ragnarok and the Suicide Squad. So, at least you're consistent.
I still need to rewatch Ragnarok and give it another chance. But, that's the thing, though. I enjoy the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. But to me, they're not straight up comedies. There's comedic elements to them. Whereas, this was more of a straight up comedy with superhero elements to it.
I don't inherently agree with you on that. I gotta admit, I see Guardians 1 and 2 as both comedies.
Yeah.
But
action
for
comedy.
some reason those two work better for me though than the other examples we've given. But this one just didn't land for me. I really did I thought Michael Rooker's voice acting was bad.
Wow, I disagree. I really do. I thought he did a stellar job.
And I'm a Michael Rooker fan. But I think the voice acting was weak in this. And I don't think it's anything against the actors themselves. I think it was the style of the director, how they wanted the voice acting to be delivered. I think that's where I have fault with it. I think it's more in the delivery and the execution of the voice acting than the actual voice acting itself. The over the topness, the really, really quick quips and not a lot of pauses in between. I just, for some reason, it was a little too fast paced in the dialogue, and the dialogue didn't land for me. I don't know. I just think this was a subpar episode compared to the first one.
That's interesting. I mean, it shouldn't come as a surprise that I almost completely disagree with you, but
no surprise
that's
at all.
the point. Yeah. Interesting. That's because like I totally get the difference in opinion on like comedy within the MCU or just superhero things in general, whatever. That's one thing. But the fact that you and I completely heard different voice acting qualities, that's the thing that I'm like stuck on right now. I'm like, wow, that's because it didn't sound bad to me at all. Like I said, Benicio del Toro kind of delivered a few lines that I felt were not as fun or as whimsical as when he played the Collector in the in Guardians.
Yeah, he sounded more like he was just basically reading the script and not putting any emotion into it. Or
I wouldn't say that. It felt like
not emotion, not emotion per se, but you know how his eccentricities that he did visually in the first Guardians movie.
Yeah, there is that 100%. I will agree with you there. But I was gonna say the one thing that came across to me that what he was trying to do, or at least this was the intent, was that this was a more evil version of the Collector.
True.
So that's where I was picking up on that, but I don't know. I thought fucking Chadwick did an amazing job.
I do agree he did a great job.
Karen Gillian did a great job.
I agree with that as well. But I think everybody else outside of those two, I think, fell flat for me.
So Josh Brolin I thought was fantastic. I thought he fucking killed it again as Thanos, but in this new version of Thanos. What's his name? Who plays Drax did a great job. I mean, not hard to do
Catchier, or however you say his last name.
That's why it was great. Okay, that makes sense. Fred Tatasciore.
Yeah, it wasn't Dave Bautista.
No, it was not. No. I'm trying to think of who else. Sean Gunn, homie. Like, I don't think you're a great actor to begin with. Like, you do a great job with what you do to help your brother in certain aspects.
I think he's a great Kraglin.
He's a great Kraglin on screen, and he definitely he's a better actor on screen with that than he was in The Voice.
Yes.
But I didn't think it was so bad that it was distracting, but that's also because Kraglin didn't have a shit ton of lines to begin with. So it wasn't as bothersome as, like, let's say fucking Bucky's from episode 1.
Yeah.
But the guy who played Taserface was killing me. He did a great job. But how hard is it to just sound kind of angry and gravelly, you know?
Not very.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that you didn't enjoy it as much as we did, but you know, it is what it is. Maybe the next episode you'll like more, but it does involve Loki. So,
what's the next episode?
I don't know the title of it. I just know it's like been dubbed as Loki on Earth. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Well,
I know that like people have talked about like which episodes are coming out, and all episodes of What If. Wow, I just have to type in all episodes, and that's what came up. Episode 1, Captain Carter. No, this is incorrect. Well, we're getting one that's Iron Man and Killmonger together.
Yeah.
One that's Marvel Zombies, and the writer has said that Marvel Zombies is going to be closer to its to the comic book counterpart of Marvel Zombies, which was written by the same guy who did Walking Dead.
Robert Kirkman.
Robert Kirkman, thank you. But as somebody had pointed out, a lot of aspects of Marvel Zombies, the comic book, use Silver Surfer and Galactus and the Fantastic Four quite extensively, which don't exist in the MCU yet. So what they're probably going to do is make this closer to like the Marvel Zombies defeating Thanos. Like that's the invader that comes to the planet. But we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Let's see. T'Challa as Star-Lord. Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but I'm just going to go ahead and use a different fucking article because I don't think they know what the fuck they're talking about. I know that, Seth Green voicing Howard the Duck was fucking perfect, by the way.
Yeah, I had no idea Howard the Duck was part of the Marvel Universe.
Yep.
Because I was like, what's going on here? And Jeff's like, oh, it's Howard the Duck. I was like, the Howard the Duck? He's like, yeah. I was like, he's part of this? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay.
Yeah, he's actually in both Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
I don't remember it. It doesn't stand out for me, but again.
I don't think he spoke. Did he speak?
Yes, he spoke in both.
Okay.
But it was a post-credit scene at the end of the first movie. And then in the second movie, when Yondu and the Ravagers are on that frozen planet in the bar, Howard's at one of the tables with a couple of females, and he's hitting on them or something like that. I have to watch again. I don't remember his exact lines, but he did have one brief line in both movies. Pretty sure.
I was like, I remember him in the post-credit scene, but that's it. I have to go back and watch number 2 or at least find that scene on YouTube or something. But yeah, I've known that Howard Duck was part of the MCU because of the cards that I got as a kid. And then I found out that there was a movie, so that was fun.
I remember going and seeing that movie in the theaters the same day I saw the Transformers animated movie.
Wow.
Talk about a day filled with disappointment for a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
You see one of the worst movies of all time, and then you see one of your favorite characters just get eviscerated and killed on screen 15 minutes into a movie. And you're like, oh, what? It was a bad day.
Oh, man. Well, why don't we go ahead and give this episode a grade? And we'll, I don't know if we have anything else to talk about today, but we can if you guys have ideas. Betty, why don't you go ahead and go first?
I would give it a B+. Again, I like the story. I found it very interesting. Again, I just found that for me personally, with what knowledge I have of the MCU, it just felt like it was again, we went from a little butterfly to a really big ass butterfly, and I was like, whoa, shock. Was not expecting that. I thought this is going to be maybe an ease into a big butterfly situation. No, they just smacked it right in there. Episode 2, I was like, okay. But again, I liked it. I thought the voice acting was good. I still like the style, the animation style. I mean, again, I liked it. So B+. What about you, Maya?
I'll give it a C-. I just the story is it was just ho-hum. I didn't think it was anything spectacular. The voice acting itself, while some of the voice acting was strong performances from the actual actors, other performances were very subpar, and I think overall the actual voice direction was off. That's just for me personally, and as a result, I got to give it a C minus.
All right. I polar opposite of Maya. Well, not polar opposite. This was a like not A plus, but just A. I loved everything about this. I loved the direction that it took in regards to asking the question and then kind of running with it and just having fun. I found it to be much funnier than the first episode, much more entertaining than the first episode. Don't get me wrong, loved watching Peggy fucking just annihilate Nazi after Nazi after Nazi, but the idea that T'Challa is such a fucking leader and such a great character to begin with, that he was able to change Thanos' mind and make the galaxy better overall. I don't think that I don't agree that the voice acting was bad. I thought it was very well done. Also, the nice little touch at the end, to commemorate Chadwick.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Got me a little bit. But yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed the episode. I found a list, by the way, of the episode titles, the leaked titles, and I use quotations because it's not the actual title. But so, episode 3 is called Loki on Earth. I don't know what the what if will be. Episode 4 is Dark Doctor Strange, which will probably be the Doctor Strange Supreme that we've seen in the toys. Episode 5 is Party Thor. Episode 6 is Tony Stark and Killmonger. Episode 7 is Marvel Zombies. Episode 8 is Tony Stark on Sakaar. And then episode 9 is Infinite Ultron. So if I were to guess, Loki on Earth is like, what if Loki won the Battle of New York? Episode 4 of Dark Doctor Strange is probably something along the lines of like, what if it was I can't think of her name, but Doctor Strange's girlfriend that died. Not him, like what if his entire goal of doing this was to resurrect her, like using necromancy instead of just being a magician, a sorcerer. But that's a guess. I don't know. Party Thor is probably like, what if Thor wasn't like, what if he didn't go and attack what's it called, Jotunheim in the episode or in the first movie? Like, what if he was just stayed in Asgard and partied? Tony,
the big Thorbowski.
There you go. I think Tony Stark and Killmonger is obvious. Like, what if Killmonger saved Tony Stark in before the first Iron Man movie? Marvel Zombies is obvious. I don't know how they're going to bring the virus in to change everyone to zombies. Tony Stark on Sakaar, no fucking clue how they're going to do that. Not even an inkling. Because like the way that I know how the MCU worked is, how would Tony get to Sakaar in the fucking first place? So what butterfly effect they're going to use to make that a thing, I don't know. But I'm looking forward to it. And then Infinite Ultron, I have to imagine that Infinite Ultron is what if Ultron was able to get Vision's body? That's what I think is going to happen with that. So
we'll see.
We shall see. But I'm excited regardless. Like I said, What If is one of my favorite fucking comic book series I just love it to death. So the fact that we're getting this with MCU, I'm still just like, more of this. And that's the great thing about this show too, is it can go on indefinitely. Like,
not every story is going to land for everybody, and right. Despite today's not really landing for me, I'm still looking forward to future episodes of this. I want to see more. I just, for some reason, today just didn't hit. I hate that it didn't.
That's all right. I mean, it's like you said, it's not always going to land for everybody, but that's also the great thing about What If, is that each story is going to be so different than the last one that it doesn't really matter if it lands or not, to an extent, because next week could be totally fucking different for you.
Yeah.
And totally different for me. So Like there's some What If comics that I think are absolute garbage. So there's that too. But
It's like we've been watching American Horror Stories, which is the new one they have out, and then each episode is a different story. And we've liked most of them except for episode 5. We both have one episode that we're like, nah, we're not digging this one. Didn't stick. But the rest of them, yeah, they've been pretty good. I mean, I think we all have, when you've got those anthology type stories, just kind of put into a series like that. I think we're all going to have certain ones that just don't resonate with us as much as the others might.
Right.
And Maya, we found your first one. So, and again, for me, I was like, okay, but I'll go with it. This is What If. So, we're just talking really big butterfly.
I think the thing that I really, that resonates with me about What If is I do that in my head to begin with. So to see it come to fruition in an animated form or like a full on like comic book that is produced is just it's just fun. I think at the end of the day, we all kind of do it with whatever we enjoy. What if fucking Walter White, like what if Jesse was shot in the first episode of Breaking Bad, and Walter had to deal with his death? Like, what the fuck would have happened next? Or let's think of a different show. Like, here's a good one. J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movies are what ifs. It's just a what if.
Yeah. Well, again, like I've said, women do this all the time. I don't know how often men do it, but we play
I personally
the what if game with all our, with our lives and with things we know. And, that's something that, I know in this house we do it a lot. Well, what if this movie had gone this way instead of that way? Or what if history had gone this way or that way? Because it's fun to conjecture how things might be different under different circumstances. Man in the High Tower was a take on what the U.S. would be like if the Nazis had won. Yeah, that was, pretty much what I thought. So,
yeah, I thought that was Man in the High Castle.
Or Man in the High Castle, yeah.
I knew what you meant. I did.
I was confused for a second. I was like, wait, that's on Amazon Prime, right? I need to watch that. I never have.
Yeah,
it's a slow burn. It's a slow burn.
That's what I've been told. You gotta have patience with it.
You have to have a lot of patience to watch that. It's kind of like reading Moby Dick. It's not bad, but God, it's slow.
Well, like the game Wolfenstein is basically a what if. What was the other show that was a what if? Fuck, I'm drawing a complete blank. Oh, it wasn't a show. It was a game. There's a game called Homefront. That is, what if North Korea figured out how to properly attack the United States and like disable us. So that's a fun what if, I guess. The game kind of sucks ass, but that's
well, hell, Red Dawn.
Yeah, Red Dawn's a what if movie. But that's, that's what I I try to do this with my dad all the time. I'm just like, where have you ever thought about, Dad, like where your life would be if you didn't have that knee injury in football? I don't like to play that game. All right.
Sour grapes.
No shit. And I do it with like other stories too. It doesn't even have to just be history or like our personal lives. Like I do it with other forms of media that I have enjoyed, that I've thought about 1,001 fucking times because I just love it. And it's just fun. It's just, you get to be super fucking creative and you get to think about aspects of and that's another thing. Some, people doing what ifs in their mind have gone on to create some great fucking novels, or at least successful novels. I couldn't say they're great, but like one that pops into my head, and I wouldn't say I'd argue none of it's really great per se, but basically like Twilight. Twilight's a big what if. I don't remember from what, but I know that it was.
What if she could actually write an entertaining story?
That is yes. That would be... Well, like 50 Shades of Grey is a sexual what if of Twilight. That fucking cracks me up. That nice little butterfly effect there.
It's a what of Twilight?
Um,
It's a
she was writing a erotic fan fiction of Twilight, and she thought, oh, this is getting popular on the websites that she was putting it on. So she just decided to write her own book and change all the names and locations, and that's 50 Shades of Grey. Isn't that wild?
I've not seen it. I mean, again, I don't read stuff like that, so it's not. Yeah, it's not my wheelhouse to watch or anything. I'm just like,
If it counts for
no.
anything, I haven't read 50 Shades of Grey myself, but I have listened to Gilbert Gottfried read excerpts from 50 Shades of Grey, and that's as close as I've gotten, and that's fucking hilarious.
I bet. Yeah.
I actually heard about a butterfly effect or ripple effect, if you will, that led to Obama's presidency. So the guy that was running against Obama in the I think it was governor race or Senate race, one of the two, in his home state, which I can't remember off the top of my head. Illinois, thank you. The reason that Obama won wasn't necessarily because he was the best politician per se. It was because the guy he was running against was married to Jerry Ryan of Star Trek, and Jerry Ryan had basically called him out for cheating or something to that effect. And so people didn't want to vote for him, and immediately, like, he dropped out, which meant that Obama won, which then led to his presidency. How fun is that? Jerry Ryan from fucking Star Trek and other things that I can't think of.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's those little dominoes.
Yeah. You just change one thing. It's so much fun. I love doing it.
I wonder about things like, well, what if humans had domesticated foxes instead of dogs? Wolves.
There you go.
Because they have found like graves with pet foxes from like 8,000 years ago. It's like, why didn't we keep that? Why did we not continue on that route with foxes, but we did with wolves?
Could you imagine
who in their right mind would ever want a pet fox?
I don't know.
Well, here's my thought. Here's my thought on that: is that humans have had such a adverse effect on dogs because of us having wolves as pets and whatnot. Can you imagine like what the pug version of a fox would look like?
I know, that's what I'm trying to sit here. It's like, will we have the same like amount of breed difference that we have with dogs? I mean, how would this have turned out? Because they've actually discovered that foxes that live around London take on more canine appearances over time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's
so funny.
That's crazy to think about. It's like, what if Hitler got accepted into art school?
Yeah.
They
probably wouldn't have been as so angry.
There'd
probably be a lot more Jews around. Is that too much?
We still have Israel as a state today. I mean, these are things you wonder about. It's like, wow, this is a huge thing. It's like, yeah, I play the what if game all the time. So
yeah, same here. I adore it. I think that's probably why when I found the comic for the first time, I was just like, wait the fuck a minute.
Yeah.
I do this in my brain.
Hi, Eleanor.
But yeah, so I think it's safe to say that we're going to continue being excited for What If, because we don't know how each episode's going to go.
And that's what's fun about it, and because again, that was a big leap for me, and I was like, whoa, they just threw me in the deep end. I was like, okay, but again, I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was like, and there will be some like throw you in the deep end type of what ifs. Like, there are what if issues in the comic that are, if you didn't read the big event that happened recently, like, you're not going to get it. So in the comic for Civil War, after it ended, there was a big what if that was two stories in one. It was what if Tony had died instead of Captain America, and what if Captain America won the Civil War and yada yada. And the way that they did it in the comic was interesting. It wasn't the Watcher telling the story. It was like somebody else talking to Tony, because Tony was like standing over Steve's grave. But if you didn't read fucking Civil War, it was like, whoo, straight over your head. And I feel like some of those issues, some of these episodes are going to be like that. They're going to be like, if you didn't watch all the way up to this point, or so, like if you didn't watch at least up to Age of Ultron, I imagine that Infinite Ultron is going to be very lost on you. But then again, I suppose if you're watching What If, you're probably a big Marvel fan to begin with. So,
I mean, that's the thing. And there's a lot of things that, maybe I haven't known this or that. So I go and look because I'm curious, So I learn. With each episode, There's something to learn, because I'm not as entrenched in this as y'all are, but I like it. So it's captured my attention enough.
That's good. It's always fun to share this stuff too. Like, something that I don't understand is when people gatekeep the comic books or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so weird to me. I'm always excited when someone's like, you know what? I wasn't into Star Wars, but I'll give it I'll give it another shot with, through your viewpoint. And then they fucking turn out to love it and arguably become a bigger fan than me. It's great. I fucking love it so much. I get so excited for that stuff. And I don't get why people do it. Like I stop gatekeeping. When you have more fans of the thing that you enjoy, you get more of that thing. That's how this works. Getting loud and getting angry at fucking fanboys, which
it happens.
Is justifiable. Fuck fanboys. Hate them so much. Well, I didn't have anything else on the docket but What If today. So either of you have anything that you want to bring up, or do you just want to?
Well, what if you did have something else on the docket?
Then this episode would be more interesting, I tell you that.
Oh.
Yeah, we really don't have anything else, so I guess we'll just we'll wrap it up. Also, I need to get the fuck out of my room and let it not be as smoky, so there's that.
Yeah,
it's bad in here right now. All of there's
on fire.
There's a huge fire that's like 45 minutes away from me. It's burnt 52,000 acres. And it is bad. So
it's horrible.
Hello.
It really is. But that's how California is. So I don't know what to say.
Hi, Eleanor.
All right. Well, everyone, that's gonna do it for us today. Next week will be episode 3 of What If, which, as we stated, is just, as we know right now, is just Loki on Earth. It could be what if Loki won the Battle of New York. It could be what if Loki was worthy of Mjolnir. It could be anything. I genuinely have no fucking clue. So, so yeah, come back next week. Watch that, and then join us next week when we talk about it. Make sure you're following all the social medias, especially if we decide to add a show or add a movie to next week's discussion. That's where you'll find out. We'll let you know, unless we decide to do it. Like, we watched it and then we decide to talk about it right before we record, like we did with the Suicide Squad.
Would either of you be okay with adding that Witcher animated movie that comes out this Friday? Or
I'm gonna watch it anyway.
Is that this week or is it next week?
Witcher anime.
What's it
That
coming out on?
is. Hold on. Okay, here's the Netflix website. Now it's going to the app. Monday comes out Monday. So yeah.
Would that be okay with you, Betty, if we watch
Yeah, I'm
the
fine
Witcher
with that.
anime? Comes out Monday.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Wait, hold
Awesome.
on. Yeah, the 23rd. So
Yeah, it's just a standalone movie. It's only going to probably be like 90 minutes or so.
yeah, exactly. And I was gonna watch it anyway because I know my dad wants to see it.
Yeah, I was going to watch it too, so I figured, hey, give us something else to talk about.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. All right, well, there you go, folks. We're in episode 3 of What If and The Witcher, Night of the Wolf. What the fuck was it called?
Night of the Wolf.
Night of the Wolf. Nightmare of the Wolf.
Nightmare of the Wolf.
Yeah, I had to pull it back.
Sorry.
It's all right. So there you go. Those are the two things. And again, make sure you follow the social medias. I know that Betty wants to start, or she mentioned for us to start uploading memes and junk like that, which is great. So if you have memes you want us to put on our pages, let us know and send it to us, and we'll post it up. I think that's it for the social media stuff. Guys, we still have stuff on the Teespring store, and all the proceeds that come from that go right into the podcast. So it helps us out big time when you purchase something. And if you do purchase something, show it off on social media. Send it to us. We'll showcase it wherever we can. And we love seeing you guys wear the stuff, or just whatever it may be that you have. YouTube channel. I need to record a few reviews for the YouTube channel, but that's also where you can find the video version of the podcast. And if you're listening to this on whatever you're choosing to listen to, which is iTunes or whatever, head on over there, give it a subscribe, a follow, a like, a comment, whatever you can. It's free to you, free to us, and helps us out in the long run. So that's it for that. I don't have anything else to focus on. Maya, where folks can find you? Where can folks find you?
You can find me on Facebook under my name, Maya Dawn Fisher. That's a public profile. If you choose to follow me, you can. If you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, trying to be more proactive on those as well. They are linked to my Facebook page. As for other shows you can catch me on, I'm on 2 shows on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel. Every other Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on a show called Figure Bangin'. It's a live action figure review show. And then every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on Nerd Life Syndicate, where we talk about various news and entertainment and pop culture from the prior week. So it's a lot of fun. That's everywhere you can find me. What about you, Betty?
You can find me on Facebook at Betty Badger Ogletree, and you can find me on Twitter at Bright Betty. Greg?
You can find me on all social medias under Chub Rock Geek. You can also find me talking about video game stuff over on the Mission Start YouTube channel, Mission Start Tubes, or Mission Start Podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast. I'm going to be working on a review here soon for Mario Golf, so that way Anthony can edit that and put that up. I know that we get stuff out really late, but it's just us two, and I don't have the capability of editing my own shit. So there's that. But currently on the YouTube channel is my review for It Takes Two. And I guess Anthony is trying to do stuff for fighting game stuff, including his own little VTuber avatar. So if you're into that, go check that out. Yeah, other than that, I think that's it. That's all I got. Thank you guys so much for listening. Really appreciate it. Like I said, again, next week, What If, Episode 3, and The Witcher, Nightmare of the Wolf. And that's it. We'll see you next week.
All right. Peace, love, and polypops.
Take care, everybody.